I'm Jim Lescault, the Executive Director of Amherst Media. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm going to respond to just a couple things in a letter that the Select Board put forth last week, if I may. And it was titled Public Access Education and Government Television, which you've very kindly, you do put it up on the front of your webpage for people to see. The town manager had offered very kindly on February 3rd to amend and sign an extension of our lapsed contract. By February 20th, Amherst Media had come up with retaining a lawyer, a counsel, legal counsel for ourselves. At our very next board meeting on March 2nd, we voted and signed to agree to that. And as of last Friday, that meeting was held with the town manager and signed contract, and I thank you for that. That ended the 144 days without a contract, so that is being removed from our website as we speak. The letter also talked about responding to the suggestions I had made about the 17 other cities and towns in Western Massachusetts and looking for another option, how they are taking the way of instructing the cable provider to directly fund the agreed upon contractual amount to the PEG provider. And I know that caused a lot of concern by the Select Board, and in the letter there was additional mention of the lack in the current contract of what had previously been in the 2006 contract, the one about whether the funding to be sent to, I think it was section 7.2, where the support PEG access money was sent either to the issuing authority, the town, or its designee. So that had been in the 2006 contract, but somehow did not make it into the current contract. I do know the Cable Advisory Committee had strongly urged that it be in there, so somehow it did not make it. I don't know where that happened, but it didn't, and it's unfortunate because very seldom is it taken out when it's once in there. But looking at that, I wanted to just direct you for a moment to realize that your existing contract has a section 15.1, and that's under the miscellaneous, entire agreement under miscellaneous provisions. And in that, the instrument, I could read that to you or just tell you basically what it says, is that nothing can change in the agreed upon or anything change in the previously written, but it can't change orally, but it can with a written agreement between the two parties. So something as mild as this, being that one's directing a check to be sent to a different address, I don't think Comcast would really see a problem with signing a letter. That doesn't make you open up the whole contract. It just says it's like an aside letter of agreement. That's in section 15.1. I encourage you to look at it and read it because I think it's there for those kind of moments where it's not a full-blown issue. I also note that the Select Board had considerably wrote, and I appreciate you taking the time in writing and speaking to some of us, the concern about the amount of money, that your responsibility to the citizens and residents of Amherst. And it is over $4 million when you add the yearly programming money and then the capital money. Just a reminder that the previous 10 years was over $3 million. So it is an increase, but there was significant money the last 10 years too. And I point you, excuse me, I point you to our lapsed contract, now reinstated contract or extended contract, I guess, is that you had in there a really strong 2-year review process in there. And I know that there's been discussion about how to go forth with the RFP, whether it be a 3-year adjustment. But I think the 2-year was, it wasn't taken advantage of by the town, but it's there. So we had no problem with that. I think that's wise. I really do. I don't have a problem with that at all. And we also sent every year our audited financial statements to the town showing the expenditures, and that you have in front of you in the controller's office, I believe, all the expenditures on capital because you held the money the whole time. So everything that's bought is listed there. You've had that control the last 10 years. So that's nothing new or to fear of that extra 1.125 up from 450. You already had that in its entirety.
Mr. Lescault, we're well past 3 minutes, so if you could wrap it up.
I'm wrapping it up now. I sent to you very late only because, and I apologize, I don't know if you saw it, but it didn't come in to me until 4:15 this afternoon. And it's from the Senate President's Office General Counsel, and a response that he got out of his questions to the Inspector General's office on 30B. And what I just point to you, I know this is too soon for discussion, but it is very positive in their description of that this does not fall under a 30B. Their interpretation said, since many of these PEG services are provided by nonprofits through grant agreements with the town, therefore not considered services under 30B, there isn't a need for an exemption, since under these circumstances, PEG services provided by a nonprofit are not subject to 30B in the first place. So I find that to be, it really relieves us of a lot of that fear that you had that the Inspector General's office was somehow mandating that interpretation of the DOR's options. So I'm encouraging you as a group to take that clarity and to heart and maybe move forward in a collaborative manner towards a previous decision to reverse the RFP, to postpone an RFP. I don't see that as that needed at the moment. I don't see it as required, and I think it creates another level that we don't need in the town. And I encourage you to, quite honestly, consider renegotiating with us on a 10-year contract that we can start moving forward to meet the services and needs of the community's residents. So I really encourage you to read that closely. We're obviously available to be spoken with anybody that wants to speak to us at another time, but you are posting on the 17th, which I believe is this Friday, and St. Patrick's Day, and that whether or not you need to, I think, should be really considered. Thank you.
Thank you.